Hi, this is Christoph, together with Justine today. Justine, what's the topic of today?
Okay, I have to remember this one. The topic of today is, how do you know that the spirit you are talking to, if you do talk to spirit, of course, whether they're real or imagined? And how do you know if they're helpful? Yeah, how do you know if these are good, if the information is coming from a loving place? This is a good topic for you because you're big on this one. So Christoph, tell me, when you're working with people and real or imagined, a spirit works with you, maybe through channeling or maybe through whatever reason, how do you know, for one, how do you check in to see what's going on? And two, how do you know that this, whatever it is, if it is something, how do you know that it is actually helpful for them?
Well, first of all, this is an exciting topic and an important topic because most people tend to neglect this. Now, imagine this. You, as a person, you have a certain vibration, you have a frequency, correct? Yeah. And you feel sad, your vibration is lower compared to when you feel happy, correct?
Yeah, well, you feel like way down and then you feel up and happy. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a difference in vibration. Now, if you can feel love, that's one of the best vibrations you can feel. So what I do with my clients or with my students, I learn them self-love. I learn them what is that concept? How does it feel? Is it enjoyable? Is it do you feel the difference between in daily life and when you feel self-love? What is that? Because most people have no idea what it is. From the moment you actually can allow yourself to sense self-love, your vibration is really high. And at that moment, when you make a connection with spirit or with a wisdom, or I don't know, even with extraterrestrials, you can make connections. There's all sorts of things. But if you feel love, at least in my humble opinion, you make a connection to something which has at least the same vibration. And you know, if you ask a question, you get a decent answer. Because if you feel sad and then you make a connection to the other side, behind the veil, you might end up with a different being which has a lower vibration. And you would like to get help, to get information, to get healing from a being which has a higher vibration. So first of all, make sure you feel a higher vibration for yourself before you begin. If it's impossible for you to feel self-love, let's start with feeling happiness, joyful, something like that, uplifting, and then you do whatever you do. No. What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. I know a lot of clients, especially women, will say, Christoph, how do you learn to feel self-love? Isn't it like one of the biggest things we have to work on with clients is the way they feel about themselves. It's like shaking off layers and layers and layers and layers of programming and stuff to get that connection. Do they have to feel self-love? Or I think you answered that question. Could they use the feeling they have for somebody that they love to bring in?
No. This is something else. That's love for someone else. And it's easier to love someone else as to love yourself. For most people. Maybe we can start with the concept of feeling worthwhile. we never taught, our parents never taught us, our teachers never taught us. The idea of being worthwhile is really important. And from the moment you can feel the sensations which are attached to the concept of being worthwhile, then it's easier to feel self-love. If you don't have the sensation of being worthwhile, it's impossible to feel self-love. So those basic ideas of worthwhile and self-love, you must, it's an experience, or you can feel it and then it's the truth, or you can't feel it and then it's just an idea, it's just a concept. These things you must feel, you must experience. And I think experience is not the best teacher, it is the only teacher.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, once again, I think the concept of feeling worthy and self-love is something that people can be even, I know people that have been on that journey to find themselves for a lifetime. And I think it's more, like you said, around feeling it. And I know that in some of the protocols or processes we use, one of the first things we do is getting them to a space so that they can feel self-love. I mean, it's in the first session of the very start of one of our processes that we teach is, can you feel self-love? And to bring it, because I guess, you know, if people are struggling with feeling self-love, if you don't know what it feels like, what are you working towards? It would be like throwing a dart into a a night sky and trying to shoot a little arrow into a bullet or something and not having any vision. And so I guess working on self-love would be having an experience of what it actually feels like, so then you can move towards it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then if you're able to go in meditation or to go in another state of consciousness or to use hypnosis, then you can do it on your own, or you can ask the help of a coach and ask questions to spirit or whatever it means to you. Maybe it's having a discussion or to a loved one, or a feeling reconnected to someone who is passed away. Maybe it is someone else, something else. Maybe it's you, or it's a higher version of you. Whatever it is, I'm not putting labels on it. You would like to have contact, have information from something which has a high vibration. I mean, let's be honest, you don't want to have information or help from a being which has a lower vibration.
So how do you check, Christoph? So when you're with someone and they're in an altered state, and then suddenly they channel or they have a message, how do you test, or how do you check to see who you're talking to?
I always double check whether there is a feeling of love or worthiness involved. And you can ask, people can talk, use their voice, speech. If it's not possible, you can use idiomotoric signal, a yes or a no feedback system, a feedback loop, but you need to have feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you have feedback, you can ask any question you would like
Awesome. So if people are working or using altered states or hypnosis or trance to channel or to communicate, I think out of this conversation, what I got out of it was it's quite important that when you do this kind of work, that first you be in a space of feeling self-love or worthiness, so that if your vibration or the energy that you're giving off is in a frequency or vibration that is a loving high one, then the chance of you working with something that matches your even higher, if it is such a thing, it's much safer than coming from a different space.
Yeah.
So if someone felt like, I have had clients this quite often, someone feels like they have an attachment or entity or energy within their system, what do you do? If someone came to you and they say, I feel like I've got this thing weighing me down, what is it how do you deal with that?
Well, we use altered states of consciousness. So we put our client in trance, and then by using idiomotoric responses, you can make contact with whoever. Now, first check: is there something going on which is fishy, which is not supposed to be there? Is there a form of consciousness which shouldn't be there? Yes or no? So you can double check. Knowing, measuring is knowing, and from the moment it is identified, yes, something is going on here which shouldn't be here. Then you can actually communicate with it and ask, hey, what is it that you need? Why are you still here? Can you understand you're with my client, but you're not supposed to be here? There's something better for you. And have a discussion. Do you need a discussion? Of course not. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Some people like it, some people don't like it. And then, at least in my opinion, it is better to help the entity before you send it away. If it's helped, then it's durable. Then it doesn't pop from my client to another person. No. If it's helped, then it's easier as a choice from that other being. Okay, maybe it's better for you to go home or to another level, which brings you more harmony. But if you help the entity, then the process goes much smoother and easier. I don't fight against it. I'm not like the Catholic Church who thinks in demons and whatever. No. Help it, and then make sure it's going to another level, which brings more harmony for all parties involved. That's my idea.
Yeah, awesome. What was that in me? The same thing. So if I do have a sense of something is not 100%, and can't do our job without having this stuff happen. And like I say to my students, real or imagined, it's real for the person experiencing it. And like I said, I've had so many experiences now that to me, anything and everything is possible. What I do myself as well as you is I don't have my personal beliefs don't sit with demons and bad stuff. To me, everything is just as it is. It's just energy. It's if something's sitting in the system of a client, it could be something. It could be a thought form, meaning a thought form to me is maybe someone's heard something as a child and thought about it so much that it now has an energy of itself, meaning they might hear the words of someone over and over again and it has its own energy to it. To me, past lives and or lifetimes or things going on at the same time, to me, are things that I view sit within our system. And so for me, it's like, you know, there are times that things happen that can't be explained. And for me, first, it's about, like what you do, is keeping the client safe and making sure that the client themselves go into a loving space. Like I'll ask Superconscious, or whichever way I'm doing it, that the client be in a space of being safe. I do a lot of work using, like you said, idiomotor responses, but I do a lot of it in my mind too, so that it doesn't influence the client so much in that space of what's going on. And yeah, I asked, like you, that whatever needs to be done, and that it's sent home, or it's sent to light, or you know, it's done for the good of everyone, including the client, me, whatever the energy is. And another thing I like to always, and I do teach this to my students if it ever happened, is that I tend to ask the higher part of the client to come on board and help with the process, being that, you know, we are at an energy or vibration of being human, which can be quite a dense, you know, place to be, right? And so when I'm working with energies or entities, and I ask that we be moved into that loving space, that different frequency, I then just say, come on, Superconscious, or come on, guys, just help out here and do what needs to be done to help this process, and let me know when it's done. And it's quite funny, because when you do this online, the whole computer lights up, like the screen lights up when the energy changes. I was doing a demo, and we weren't supposed to be doing that in a training, and we weren't so much doing that per se, like working with energies or stuff, but we were shifting kind of what I call trauma personalities. And every time the personality shifted, screen lit up. And the first time it happened, I thought that's quite cool, but it is what it is. Second time it happened, it was like, whoa, 2 times in a row, that's fluky. But when it was 3, 4, 5 times, every time something shifted, the screen lit up. When we got to about 5 times, it was like, you can't make this up now. Like the computer, the energy in the room is literally changing every time something shifts. It was unbelievable. And it wasn't just me seeing it. So I wasn't entrancing it on the screen. There were students watching, and it was just lighting up. I've got it on camera, lighting up. And when the energy was changing and lifting. So it's pretty cool. But like you, it's, you know, being in that space of a loving space, which keeps everybody safe, and then just doing what needs to be done to help that shift. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it goes also the other way around. I mean, if a client has grief,
yeah,
because someone passed away, we can use the altered states of consciousness to reconnect with the person who was passed away, and they can I mean, I'm not going in detail here in this episode, but it is a process which is so benevolent when people can reconnect with their loved ones which are passed away.
Yeah.
They can ask whatever they would like to ask or discuss or whatever. It is beautiful. Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to do, and we tend to do it a lot.
Lovely topic. It's a big topic. If you have other questions about this or other topics, please let us know so we can discuss. We can even join the conversation or whatever.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Awesome. We'll see you next time.